Well, good morning. It is Wednesday morning on this wonderfully hot weekend that we're about to approach on. We have a group and we are headed out of Wallace going to Avery, Pierce, and then we're going to end up in Lolo Hot Springs tomorrow night. So we have I think 8 cars that are going with us. We've been trying to prepare for this heat. Unfortunately, we picked this date about a year ago, and Mother Nature decided to bless us with a massive amount of heat. It's going to be 100 plus most of these days, but we've got our pack out. We're trying out our new bag. We've kind of strapped it up on top there. We'll see how that goes. We've got spare tires. We've got hopefully everything that we need. So let's get on the road. We're going to be heading out of Wallace over Moon Pass. Moon Pass was opened last Thursday, 2 weeks ago now. So we're going to be hitting that in the tunnels. We'll probably stop at a couple tunnels and cool off. And then we'll get down to Avery, top off our fuel, and then hit the road over to Pierce. We'll be going over Dworshak, the Blue Haven cabin, and several other things. So let's get this started. Here we go. It's like, no, I'm good. All right, well, we stopped at this first creek crossing just to get a little bit of cooling off, check everything, make sure our pack outs are all good. Everything so far, so good. It's about a 30 miles, 25 miles an hour pace on that. That's the up and down over Moon Pass. We're now down here towards the bottom. There was possibly the washout. I was trying to see where the washout was. I don't know if we passed it. There was a bunch of material up there that it could have been. If so, they fixed the road great. Otherwise, it's down a little bit. We're about to go hit where we will go onto the tunnels. So let's get cooled off here for a second and we'll head up there. So this is where the slide was. You can see, look at how that rock fell. Holy crap, that is insane. So they had to rebuild the road here, but our favorite places. This is the tree on the tunnel and the waterfall. It's one of the really cool places. We stopped here earlier this year when we were on this run, and it was definitely running a little more, but great picture spot. All right, we made it to Avery. We're topping off fuel here at the store. It was only about 25 miles or so, but this next leg is about 100. So we want to make sure that we have a fuel tank of gas. Typically we can do about 110, 115, but in case anything goes awry, we just want to make sure that each opportunity we can get fuel. So we're going to top off there, and then we are heading down the highway. We're going to go across that bridge, and then we're going to keep going south towards Dworshak. So one of the things I keep hearing a ton about is this Idaho fishing. The fly fishing here has amazing ice cream. So we're going to go in and take a peek and see what kind of ice cream they have. So I've never been here, but man, if you haven't been here, you're missing out. They have a sweet little deck right here, right off the St. Joe. They've got some sandwiches, coffee, apparel, and all kinds of other stuff in here, along with ice cream. So we're going to grab a little scoop of Maui Wowie and then get on the road. Sometimes no matter how much you prepare for it, you end up losing your cooler in the rock. So looks like the cooler survived. Most of the stuff in it did too. I guess we'll see if we can get it strapped back up there and get back up this. We're almost to the Blue Haven cabin. Well, we made it up to the Blue Haven cabin. We were up here a couple of years ago. It's a pretty cool little cabin. Unfortunately, they have added this sign, and it says, "Attention Idaho BDR drivers, riders, the Blue Haven cabin is privately owned and is not open for public use." So we were looking back in August. We rode this and found where we signed in the guest book. So it's still there. It's cool that the guest book's there. So we'll write something in here and then we'll get going. So one of the cool features of the Blue Haven cabin is they actually have this little trough and spring so you can get some fresh water and such. If it was open, you could see kind of what they have in there. If you want to see a review of it, check out our 2022 Overlanding. It was open to the public then, and I have a whole bunch of videos of it. But for now, we're gonna cool off in this and then finally head down to Dworshak. down from Blue Haven over a couple of mountains, and we are down here at the Dworshak Reservoir. It is crazy. When we were here 2 years ago, if you go back and watch that video, this thing was probably down 20 or 30 feet from where it is right now. It was really crazy. But we're gonna go down to Granddad Campground here in a second. We're just stopping here to get some pictures. This is the Granddad Bridge, and as you can see, it is a spectacular view up here. So we'll cool off for 1 second and then head down there. So if you go this way, you can kind of go down the road, and Granddad Campground is right down there, and that's where we'll be in 1 minute. We're here at Granddad Campground and Ramp. They have a boat ramp here, and they have a bunch of campsites all along there. This is a really cool place. It sounds like it's really good fishing. Somebody was saying they got a bunch of kokanee. So we just came here for a quick stop. Looks like we've got about 23 miles and we'll be at Pierce. All right, well, it is Thursday morning. We are fueled up. We're here in front of the market in Pierce. We've got all of our supplies and everything. That's one of the nice things about some of these trips, the way we plan it out. We hit the gas station up there, and then we come down here, we grab a handful of supplies so we don't have to pack out everything we're doing. So we're not loading everything for a 5-day trip. We're loading probably for a 2-day trip, and then we're just restocking some of it as we go. So Pierce is actually a pretty nice town. They've got quite a bit. They've got Chubby's Pizza, so if you want pizza. They've got several cabins and such, the grocery store, parts store, gas station, hardware store. There's quite a bit here. So if you're looking for a place to kind of come through, look at Pierce. That's one of the nice things about it. So we're gonna be heading down this road. We've got a little bit of pavement before we hit what I think is French Creek, and then that's gonna put us over somewhere near Hoodoo Pass, and then we're gonna hit the Lolo Motorway, and hopefully we can get to Lolo Hot Springs here soon. So let's get everybody going and get on the road. All right, so we made it just up a ways. I don't know, it's probably only been 8 or 10 miles. This is the top of the French Saddle, or there's Beaver Saddle, Hemlock Butte, Sylvan Saddle, and I think we just came from French Saddle. So you can see Sarah and the Turbo S4 coming around there. We've been kind of spread out, but man, it's a little smoky, but there's probably a 360 view here that is just crazy. There's also a lookout tower right up there, but the people that we were talking to down below said it's no longer open to the public. In our overlanding video a couple years ago, that was the tower we went to right before we turned around. So just enjoying this view, and then we're gonna get back on the road. Well, we're driving the 2018 Turbo S. I bought this about 3 years ago. It was from my best friend, and I put a lot of miles on it. When I bought it, it had about 2,500 miles, and it is about to turn 10,000 miles. We've replaced the transmission, the front diff, the prop shaft, and probably almost every bearing and ball joint and everything on this, but this has been a fantastic machine. We were talking with Kevin from Vision ETV last night, and he said I definitely need to get my valves readjusted on it. He's surprised it even cranks because it hasn't had the valve adjustments done at all since new. So we'll have to we'll definitely have to get the valve adjustments done on this. That's one of the things. So we are 0.7 miles away from turning 10,000. We're going over one of the saddles here. We're heading over to Lolo Speedway. Somewhere in here is roughly where we ended our 2022 Overland trip that we did. We had someone having motor issues, and so the group ended up choosing to turn around. And I vaguely remember some of these views and thinking this is going to be the greatest leg, and then we had to turn around. So no big deal, it happens. You know, you ride as a group and you stay together as a group. So we are 0.4 miles away from turning over 10,000. 0.99, 1/10 of a mile to the 10,000. Hopefully Polaris didn't build something that explodes at 10,000 miles. There it is. Woo! 10,000 miles.
10,000 miles and plenty of smiles.
All right, 10,000 miles and hopefully 10,000 more to go. Lead car left on 500. Welcome to the Lolo Motorway. Left on Rocky Ridge Lake. We're gonna do a quick little detour here. Let's slingshot this so nobody misses it. So one of the cool things about doing these overlanding trips is just learning about different places and kind of exploring little bits off the trail. So this was one that I had noticed on when I was mapping this out. It's literally right off the trail, but this is called Rocky Ridge Lake. And it's pretty cool. If you want to do a paddleboard or kayak, it's a nice small lake right off there. And there's also a bunch of really good camp spots. So right up here, when you come in, it's a loop, and there all the camp spots have a picnic table, a fire ring. And it looks like there's about 8 or 9 camp spots all along here. So this would be a killer spot to stop on the Idaho BDR. We're on the Lolo Motorway, so if you're looking for a cool spot to camp, check out this one. So we're on the Lolo Motorway here. It's been a mix so far. We're coming from the west side heading east. A lot of it has been riding along this saddle. The roads are definitely a mix. Some of it's really good, some of it's a little choppy, rocky. But other than that, it's been killer views. For the most part, on the left and right are 2 mountain ranges, and we're going down a third. So lots of interesting camp spots that you can camp along there, like the one that we stopped out for lunch. But we're going to continue moving on east on the Lolo Motorway here. Well, Well, we just wanted to stop here. I don't know if the GoPro can do this justice, but man, this was one amazing view rolling up on lush green. You can actually see some snow caps back there. And if you need some audio assistance, sounds like there's some crickets or something here making some noise. So, but this is one of the things I was hoping to be able to see on the Lolo Motorway. I've heard the views are spectacular, and this one does not disappoint. We're up here at almost 7,000 feet. So this is the Indian Post Office. Elevation's almost 7,000 feet. And I was gonna take a walk out here and see. This looks like another one of those just incredible views. Wow. So it says this is sacred ground. I'm not quite sure if that means there's anybody buried here, or if it's just it was meant something to the Indians. But man, yet again, insane views. Well, that's been a lot of uphill climbing, so we're gonna stop here for a few, let the belts cool off a little bit, let our shake our legs out a little bit, maybe grab a cold beverage, and then we're gonna get on the road. I think we're 70 miles and we've got right at 100 to go. So hopefully in the next couple of hours we can get into Lolo. All right, well, we are at the east entrance of the Lolo corridor. We're got a couple of people still coming down from there, and then we're going to head out. We finally got to Lolo Hot Springs just before 9 p.m. on a very long day of riding with a few challenges. A couple of the trails we'd planned were not passable, which caused us to be low on fuel as we were getting into Lolo Hot Springs. Once we got there, a couple of us jumped in for a quick soak in the hot springs, grabbed some food, and most of us crashed out for the night. Keep an eye out for the second part of this video where we go to Locksaw, back to Pierce, camp out south of Avery on the Clearwater River, and finally make it back to Wallace.